What's going on, boys? We're going to go over the 3-5-2 attacking formation. Now, I wanted to go over this for some time. I wanted to get the meta formations out the way. We're still going to go through the meta formations, but I wanted to have some of the fun attacking formations. This is my 3-5-2. As you know, the 3-5-2 you can't actually play, but you can make this attack in a 3-5-2. And I thought I'd show an example of how it attacks. So you can see this is how you break up from that regular fullback formation. You can see that left mid ends up coming into the middle and you end up creating that 3-5-2, the formation, in my opinion, the best attacking formation inside the game. But this way you have two dedicated centre mids that can maneuver the ball, rotate the ball, and you keep that extra play going forward. You know, I always say the 3-5-2 is like a combination of the 4-4-2, 4-2-1-3 together. But you can see again, you got the four strikers and you got that cam. It's really difficult to defend against this because there's normally an overwhelming number of players going forward. So to make that 3-5-2, we had to use the 4-1-2-1-2 wide base structure. So when you're defending, let's say, for example, your opponent has the ball for a prolonged period of time, you don't defend in the back three. Now, because they nerfed 3-backs into the ground, one of the few downsides is you can't have a 5-back. So you can see you still maintain that 4-back, a regular 4-back with one CDM, and of course you can bring in a centre mid, or you can have a player there, and that's how I defend with it. So you can bring a player back, and you can see you have that cam, and then you have the two strikers on the radar that are ready for the counter attack. And as I said, in transition, you can see the left back over here. What happens is when you have the ball, the most important thing is you don't lose the ball, because you're going to have to wait for that player to join the attack to make their extra centre mid. So you can see it does take some time, but that player also runs back into position as well. I'm using someone without a roll plus. I'm actually using Mace here just for chemistry purpose for FIFA. But you can see she still very much runs into that position over here and maintains that centre mid position.
Are you sick and tired of losing FC26? Do you want to win more games? Well, you can come to my FC26 school series. Now, don't forget, we also have a Black Friday offer. That's 20% off. Enter the code Friday at checkout for 20% off. And don't forget, let's say even with 20% off, if you don't get better, we will refund your money after 1 month. Think about how much time you wasted going through YouTube videos. And you see, even on my YouTube channel, everything's a bit of a random order. But in an FC school, everything is in a structured format where you learn one thing and it progresses. So whether you're an elite player, a Division 10 player, or you never played this game before, you will learn something. We've got everything from the basics, the novices of gameplay, all the way to the pro stuff, the meta mechanics, what all the pro players are using, how they're using those through balls. For example, we've got a video on the through balls. We've got videos on first time shots. All of this before it became the meta. We went through all of this, and you can learn this right now to improve your gameplay. Now, not only are you saving your own time, you're also saving your money. For less than the price of a Nando's meal nowadays, think about this. How much money have you spent on FP points? Has a team made you better? We show you how to be good with the most basic and cheapest teams, because that's all you need. That is why pros are using players like Peanut. It's the most effective players inside the game. You only spend any more money on FP points. You just need to learn how to play the game. Links down below in the description. Don't forget, enter the code Friday for 20% off. And if you don't get better after 1 month, we will refund your money. So no guys guarantee. Links down below in the description. Patreon.com/NeilGuys.
So when you defend like this. When you attack, you're attacking at 3-5-2. One of the things I did is I put Van de Ven on the wide back. And as you can see over here, look at Van de Ven. He's not so far forward where he's playing as a left back. But look at the radar. I might have to zoom into this. He occupies basically in between the half space. So he's able to react. So when you don't have that player available in that position, you can see on the radar, Van de Ven ends up holding his position, but then doesn't go too wide. So although it's called a wide back, they just defend a bit more wider positionally, and this is why I like it. So left back goes forward, creates the centre mid, and then of course you have the rest of the back line. I got both my right back on fullback defend, as it always is. Both the left mid, and right mid, and inside forward. Both defenders, you can put defender defend. I personally prefer wide back in a system like this, where I got a fullback going into the midfield, because it also gives a bit more space as well for if I want to bring the ball with Van de Ven, I can always trigger him out wide. The main CDM will be a deep line playmaker defend. Don't forget, when you are defending, this is your main CDM. It's your left back, kind of like a Mars Lewis Skelly would in real life, that makes the centre mid. Then we have the cam on playmaker. So the cam is in that position where they can still come back and help you defensively. You could always put, for example, here a classic 10 if you really want to. I think a shadow strike maybe be a tad bit too attacking, but you can definitely experiment that. Left mid, right mid, or an inside forward. I tried going with something like, like using a wide midfielder to defend and stuff like that, but I'll be honest, it didn't really help that much in the actual midfield area when I lost the ball. Like, I was thinking, if I put wide midfield to defend, will it help me a little bit? But to be honest, it just negates their attack. So leave them both on inside forwards. I've tried that, doesn't make a difference. And for the strikers, I've gone with one advanced forward and one on poacher. That way you got 2 attacking movements. So when you get counted here, you can see I run back with my left mids and right mids. And you can see Bernardo Silva in the middle. He maintains that position. So you kind of got that diamond in midfield. Then when you get the ball back, you wait for Mace to go forward, or your left back in that case. And then you can bring the attack, and you got a 2v1 down the left-hand side on your counter attack. And you can see the benefit over here is, you can see I've got players as well that's available that I can use as well in these situations. And I've got 2 different attack movements. When I lose the ball, you can see, for example, like here, you can see Van der Ven, he's got a wide midfield to defend, and I explained to you, it's up to you to run back with your left back. If you know you struggle with left backs, don't use this formation, because if you have to run back, if you don't run back, you could get countered. I did this deliberately to show you, simulate what a random or an average person would do, and they would randomly go and leap forward and become aggressive. Van der Ven still holds the area, but you're going to be exposed on the left hand side. So even when you lose possession, you need to run back with that left mid. It's so important, unless you're extremely good at man defending. In terms of the tactics, it is in a 4-1-2-1-2. The build-up style is counter. As I explained to you as well, you couldn't really use a 3-back. In the biggest way, I would love to use the 3-5-2 in its natural form with 2 CDMs. The problem is the left mid and right mid, they don't come back to help you defensively. They literally just stay there. Even with wide midfield to defend, even though EA said they've changed it, they don't do anything. They're very static in midfield. They don't reform and create the back 5 and reform the line. They just basically stand there in midfield. Now for the defensive approach, I normally go with 60, as I mentioned, all formations. I've just reduced it a tad bit down. To be honest, you can even reduce it further. This would be one of the few formations where I would say if you want to reduce it, keep it unbalanced, but you can reduce it further. I just kept it on 55. And count is important because you see, when you build up and you attack, Mace needs to become that left back to a centre mid. The counter helps them move more fluidly in positions. You can see she doesn't have the, when I do these formations, I always test them without the roll plus plus. You got the roll plus plus, brilliant. But if you haven't got it, they will still move, but counter just helps them move. So that is the code if you want to go ahead and copy it. It'll be on my website by the time this video should be uploaded, and it should be updated on my website as well. And don't forget, if you want to get better F26, you can still use the Black Friday code. Use Friday for 20% off at checkout. You can come join my FC school. We got videos on everything, the meta mechanics. Say you just want to get better at the game and just abuse what the pros are using, or the meta mechanics per se. We have that series. We've got the FC26 school for those looking to get better, and we have gameplay tips and more videos coming, always being constantly updated and videos being uploaded as well. Links down below in the description. Get better now for less than the price of a Nando's meal nowadays. Stop spending FP points. A good team won't make you win. It's all about gameplay. Links down below in the description. Remember, if you don't get buffed after 1 month, we will refund your money. Use the code Friday at checkout for 20% off. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time.